This tutorial is meant to teach you how to add a class calendar to your Google site. First, let me show you a finished product. So here's a Google site that was created by an East Leiden science teacher that took my Google Apps Bootcamp class over the summer. And you can see that she's added a calendar page to her site that includes a calendar specifically for her physical science course. And you can see this is a great way to announce homework assignments, quizzes, tests, anything else that you want the students to know that are date driven. You can see that a student has the ability to click on the event to get more information. And there's even an option for the student to copy the event to their own calendar. Or they can continually just visit this site to see what's been updated. To begin, you first need to create your class calendar. So go to your Google Calendar, and on the left hand side under the My Calendar section, click on the Add link. Give your calendar a name, and just double check to make sure that the time zone is set to Central Time. You will need to also choose to share the calendar and make it public so that your students can see it, because please remember that the student's domain and the teacher's domain are completely separate. So you'll need to make this calendar public so that your students can see it. Then click the Create Calendar button. It'll warn you that your calendar will be public for everyone to see, but that's what we want. And click Yes. You should now see your class calendar show up under the My Calendar section on the left hand side. So now let's add this calendar to your Google site. So go to your Google site, and you could either embed it on an existing page or you can create its own page. I'm going to do that, so I'm going to click Create Page. Give the page the name Calendar. I'm going to leave it at the top level and hit Create Page. Now that I'm in edit mode, I can insert the calendar by going to Insert, Calendar. All of the calendars that you have access to will appear. So I'm going to find the class calendar that I want, highlight it, and choose Select. You can configure these settings if you'd like. I'm going to uncheck the title because it's already going to be attached to the calendar, and then hit Save. When I save the web page, you'll see the calendar be displayed. And it's that easy. Now, to manage this calendar, you can do that directly from your Google Calendar. And when you add new appointments or events, the only thing you have to be sure to do is choose the calendar that you want the information to be attached to. So if I write homework, page 14, 2 through 22, I want to make sure that the item is attached to my class calendar. So I choose that in the calendar drop down and then hit Save. You'll notice that it is visible on my Google Calendar here, and if I go back to my site and refresh the page, what I just put onto the calendar now also appears on your Google site. Certain items are not specific to a time, so instead of making this from 7 to 8, I could just make it an all-day event. So if I save my changes here, notice that it is now put at the top of my Google Calendar, and if I go back to my Google site and refresh it, it shows up differently. It's not attached to a specific time. but it still has the same information. One last thing that you need to do before you finalize your calendar on your site is you need to make sure that the site's settings are also set to Central Time. So to do that, while you're in your Google site, click on the gear in the upper right corner, choose User Settings, and just make sure that the time zone is set to Central Time, and then save those changes. When you're on your actual page that has the calendar embedded, you'll actually see what time zone that calendar is being displayed in. If you don't choose the user settings and set them to Central Time, I believe the default is Pacific Time. So, that's how you can add a class calendar. You can repeat this process and add a second course calendar or a third course calendar if you want. And this way you give your students a great way to visit your site and see everything that's going on and when. As always, if you have any questions, please contact me or the tech office. Thank you.